delinquent cases, but I also took care of Job and Family Services, we call it the welfare department back then, but for children who were abused or neglected, I helped to get those folks on the right track and get them into some families and get them protected as well. After I was in juvenile court, I went to the felony division, where I prosecuted the felony cases throughout the county. And for probably the past 10, 15 years in the felony division, I was the major felony prosecutor. So that means I got all the murders and all the rapes and all the armed robberies, and I made sure that those people got convicted and went to prison and are serving time. And I did that for a good long time. And I did a stint in Geauga County as well. I had the opportunity to become the chief assistant in the felony division in Geauga County for about 6 or 7 months. And while I was there, I had the opportunity to prosecute that young man who killed his classmates at Chardon High School and who just apparently broke out of prison the other day, which aggravated me to no end, I can tell you that. But in any event, that's my professional background. My personal background is I grew up in Mayfield Heights, went to St. Clair School in Lyndhurst, with the nuns who would smack our hands with the rulers when we misbehaved, things of that nature. From there, I went to Mayfield High School, went to University of Akron for my undergraduate degree, business administration with the major in finance. After undergrad, I didn't go right to law school right away. I was out there working for a living. I worked for several insurance companies. I got my broker's license. Worked for a big brokerage, but I didn't like sales. Not a salesperson. I'm more of the worker bee than the getting out there and being grand and making all that kind of money. I'm the guy that's behind the scenes more so. So after that, I decided to go to law school, and I did at Cleveland Marshall downtown. And from there is when I got hired, right after law school, I got hired in the Lake County Prosecutor's Office. So that's my career. I'm married to my wife, Suzanne. We just celebrated our 23rd wedding anniversary last month. She's a teacher in Euclid. She's in her 30th year, and she's a special ed teacher, and she's a saint. I could never do that for that long, and she's just loves her work, and she also deals with at-risk kids. So she does a great job, and I'm her biggest cheerleader in that regard. We have 2 sons. Our oldest is Joe. He's a senior at Lake Catholic. And our youngest is Matthew, and he's a freshman at Notre Dame Cathedral Latin. So we've got the holy war going on this year between the 2 of them. But it's all in good fun, and we enjoy having connections with both schools. Starting to shop around for colleges a little bit for Joe as well, so we'll see what he's going to do next year. As far as my position with the probate court, like I said, that's the areas we take care of. And it's people, and it's a people's court, and I'm trying to make that court more user-friendly. My predecessor, I got the position because of a judge who passed away last year, and as John said, the governor's office took about 6, 7 months to go through the appointment process when I got appointed last September. But since I've been on the job, one of my main focuses that I've been trying to get a grip on and get handled are dealing with the senior citizens, because that's who primarily I deal with in the court. So I've been going out to nursing homes. I've been going out to assisted living facilities. I've been going to the senior centers. I've been talking to these people, finding out what their concerns are, finding out what difficulties they have. Like I said, guardianships are a big part of what we do at the probate court. So I want to make sure that guardians are doing their jobs. I want to make sure that the assisted living facilities are doing their jobs in the nursing homes. I want to have a presence there so that they know they're being watched and that they're going to be scrutinized. And for the most part, these places do a great job, and they do God's work by keeping these people alive and well and healthy. But I want them to know that I'm there watching. And I can't tell you how many of these places I've been to that will tell me, we've never seen the probate court judge do this. We've never seen them go out on the road. I'm like one of the old-time doctors. I do house calls. I'm going out there, and I'm making sure that people are doing what they're supposed to be doing. And I take great pride in that. And the reason I do that, I think it's obvious, is because folks are natural resources, and I want to make sure they're well cared for. And more personal to me, last year, about this time, my father passed away. He was 91 years old. And we were lucky in that my sister was able to have him live with her for about the last 10, 12 years of his life, up until right at the end, where we did have to put him in assisted living for about 2, 3 months. And going to that place, there are 2 different places down in Geauga County. Going to those places, and seeing what was going on there, you know, I got a sense of empathy for a lot of the folks who maybe didn't have people there for them. And I wanted to make sure that we had visitors that are going to go in and talk to people there, have a presence there, and have people know that they're cared for. That's one of my main focuses at the probate court. And I think we've been doing a good job of it. We've been getting a lot of positive feedback. But like I said, I don't think that's been done before. And I'm glad to say that we're doing it and making it well known and making people know that we're out looking out for their best interests. You know, my opponent, I'm in the same school as John. I don't want to tell you the name, but you know, it's a young lady who's, you know, a decent lawyer, but you know, probably not ready to be a judge yet. But I'm not going to say anything bad. But you know, it's the former judge's daughter, so you know, they want to keep it as some kind of monarchy and keep the crown in the family, and that's not how things work, as you know. You know, Lake County has a pretty decent history of picking judges and sticking with judges that know what they're doing, that are experienced, that follow the law, as Jeff was saying, and will follow the law. And that's what I do, and that's what I pride myself on. I'm a practical person. I'm not a flashy person. I'm a guy who's in the trenches, you know, getting my hands dirty and trying to do what's right. And that's how I've lived my life. That's how my parents raised me. That's how I'm raising my kids. And that's what I'm hoping to bring across through the court. I want to make it a user-friendly court. I don't want people to be afraid to come into probate court. You always hear people say, hey, you got to avoid probate. No, it's a nice place to come. You know, we'll take care of your business for you. You know, we'll make sure that things get done appropriately. You know, we're making sure that people's property and interests are cared for. And that's what my goal is. That's what I want to do. I applaud you folks for coming out here because, as everyone up here said, a lot of people, a lot of voters, they won't take the time to educate themselves. So we applaud you that you are doing that, and we know that you're all going to vote. We know that you're going to do the right thing, but we are asking you to spread the word as well, because that's how people find out. You know, they talk to their friends and their neighbors and their relatives, and they say, hey, what do you know about this person or that person? And we'd like for you to all say, hey, I know this guy, or I know this woman, I met them, I know what they're all about. And yeah, these are people that you want to vote for, and that's what we hope for. You know, like John, you know, I'm going in front of all these folks, and I'm trying to, you know, preach to them the same thing. You know, take the initiative to go out and find out who we are. You know, and that's why I applaud you for doing that. And I hope that on November 4th, we'll all, as Kim said, we'll all sit up in some hall somewhere celebrating our victorious day. But we're not going to do it without people like you. The judges we have, or the judge candidates, we have a little problem because we don't have the R or the D. So we rely on you folks to get out there and spread the word for us. Thank you for coming out here today, and I hope that you enjoyed yourself.
Thank you, Mark. Okay, we're going to take about 10 minutes to take some questions from you, and then after the 10 minutes, we're going to have the candidates kind of spread around in the room, and you can have opportunity to get to meet them, ask any questions that you have of them, put them on the spot with hard questions, whatever you want to do. They would enjoy getting put on the spot, right? Not a lot of enthusiasm about that. But Nancy, if you ask the question, I'll repeat it for them, and then we'll have the answer.
My question is directed at Ron Young. I would like to know how we can convince our governor that he needs to be on the side of those of us who want to repeal Common Core.
Okay. How do we convince our governor that he needs to be on the side of repealing Common Core? And that question is for Representative Young.
Well, firstly, I signed the discharge petition that would get Common Core out of committee, or the repeal of it, the change. But the governor did make an encouraging statement just a little while back. He said that he's very concerned that focusing federal education policy in Washington, obviously, would lead to a significant erosion in local control here in Ohio. And I think that's most of our concerns. So he does seem to be listening. And the bill that's being considered now is being sponsored by, well, Matt Huffman, for one, who's Speaker Pro Tem in Republican in the House right now.